It's already been a year since I started doing this ranking. Sorry this one took a bit longer to make though. This time around, I changed a lot of the rules. The main one is that from now, the character will be counting as doing 2 boost max attack per break, rather than just 1 compared to last time. The reason why I only did one attack per break last time was that because it was unfair for some character, it was a bit harder for me to calculate, and also, you also need some extra character to give you the extra boost point for you to boost max twice in a row. But now the effect of granting a boost point region is starting to get a bit more universal. So besides Adane, Ogun, and Kilns the Hunter Kate, there's also character like Gloria, and then Shana, and then Signals as one. So therefore, the ability to grant boost point region is a lot more generic now. So I'll be counting them as double casting twice per break now. For Sword, the only thing you need to know about Sword is that there's this character where once it's past turn 7, they can double cast every single one of their attack, and also the ability to hit every single physical weakness in the game. And that is Hikari's only weakness. Once 7 times pass, Hikari becomes the strongest sword DPS in the game. Audio 9 hit is still strong, and Ring a Bell has a very strong EX skill, but that EX skill can only be used twice per battle. Now, a reminder that this ranking is based on the character's solo performance, as in, the ranking is only accounting as if that character is the only 5-star character in that team. Ring a Bell, despite him ranking 3rd here, due to how strong his EX skill is, if you give him enough buff like Solon Ultimate and then Guarantee Crit and some other stuff, it's not hard to end the battle by turn 6, simply because of how strong that 10-hit EX skill is. Ring a Bell do have the strongest speed clear potential, but do be aware that after using his EX skill twice, his normal skill isn't as good anymore, so you cannot finish up the enemy in 1 break. Ring a Bell's strength will decrease because his normal skill just is not that good. For Spear is Magnolia. Magnolia has this passive where you boost max, you also gain 100 potency up. Not stackable with Solon Ultimate, but having it so that you being able to not having to use Solon Ultimate does help out a bit. And also, Magnolia has this sky attack thing where it took her 2 turns to attack. Well, on the first turn she would go up into the sky, and then on the second turn she would fall back down and deal an AoE attack. It's a 3-hit time 390, but combining that with the passive is 3 times 780. 3 times 780 is extremely strong, sometimes so strong that the enemy doesn't even need to be weak to spear. Like, if you're fighting in multiple enemy, and maybe one of them does not have the spear weakness, the spear is still gonna hit for about 200k damage per hit anyway, so it's a very strong move. And then there's Karaza, who got a 6-star buff, and now he is stronger. Mainly he got an EX skill where he can gain both of his buff, and that is boostable. So you can gain, like with that skill, a 6-ton up both of his buff. Magnolia also has a latent power where she also gained Guarantee Crit and damage cap up. And also, her main move is a 7-hit spear. If the 3-hit AoE is too much to use, and the 7-hit spear can be sufficed too. And also, I do want to mention this, but Patricio is also a really strong speed DPS, but his strongest skill sapped a boost point from everyone. And so, it's not easy to consistently boosting max twice with Patricio. Hence what I mean at the beginning that it was a bit unfair for some character. Because Patricio can't boost max twice during break, his DPS score ranking is lower, so he's not even in the top 3 this time. But he's still a good unit though, so please don't worry about it. But Dagger is kinda, and it's not even close. Like, the gap between kinda and every single other DPS in the game is just too big. Kinda is extremely powerful. Very, very powerful. The impact of her having on the meta is the same as when A2 was first introduced in JP, which was a very big thing because A2 arrived with consistent double cast. Kinda is about on that same level. So to list what Kinda have, the only character in this game that has over 500 base attack at 5-star, having over 150,000 damage cap up on the passive, the ability to use 5 boost point at 1 like Sazandos, and also a passive 120% potency up when compared to the other peers like Magnolia and Solon, it's only at 100%. It's like, if the dev took like the normal, like strong DPS and like timed everything by 1.2, that's what kinda is. Besides kinda, Modulo got multi-hit Sabadante, meaning that it's now a 9-hit 80 at max boost. It's like ODO, but instead of SP, it's HP instead. That became stronger because Perseverante is easy to hit damage cap, so with this new skill, Modulo is actually a strong Dagger DPS now. And then there's Pedo with the 50% to double cast, which is still strong. For Axe, casting is the best thing that ever happened to Axe team. Within the span of 6 months, Axe team went from being not playable at all to now being like the second best team in the game, only falling behind Dagger because Dagger has kinda. Now, solo ranking wise, if Jane is the only 5-star Axe character on your team, then Jane is the best DPS, but on a proper Axe team with Casti on your team, Cecily would be number 1 over here. Reason being is that Casti has a skill where, let's see, her EX skill is a buff skill that grants everyone 15% attack up, 15% Axe damage up, 30% potency up, guaranteed crit, and it was either 20,000 or 30,000 damage cap up. Also, Casti got a follow-up passive where if anyone on your team is doing Axe damage, they will also doing an extra attack, a 1-hit AoE 200 potency attack. So Casti is like Richard, but like for Axe, but like if Richard was released this year instead, so... And Cecily got buff, and out of all the characters that got the 6-star and Torchpoint buff, Cecily buff is like the most... So what Cecily got as a buff is that 1, she got infinite boost point regen as a passive, and 2, she gained the ability to double cast. So combining that together, constant boost point regen and double casting, she's now like back to being like the best Axe DPS in the game now. Reason why she started here is that because by herself without Casti, Jane does more damage, but with Casti, Jane's strongest move is a 2-hit, while Cecily is 6-hit, so Cecily does not suffer from the damage cap problem. Also, this actually benefit for her, but Cecily has a special case where her Axe skill, instead of getting the SP reduction like her 2 other skill, it's actually getting a potency up on the leveling board. So instead of the 3 x 130, it's 3 x 145, which is much more potency and which makes Cecily much stronger as an Axe DPS. For Bo is Huge Up. Huge Up is like Casti but for Bo instead. Besides having like good buff and follow-up attack, he also got strong attacking skill and also got a very strong EX skill. And he also got a torch point skill where he can raise his potency by 100% for 2 turns. So that does increase his damage by a lot. Oshat is still very strong despite she has a few weaknesses, but I will mention that later. And then there's Uni, which is do you know what's the one thing that makes a character good no matter how bad they are? It's just get them a double cast move. Every single character that got double casting as a buff in JP, they either become meta like Cecily, or they become at least good enough to see play again. And in this case it's Uni. Uni double cast condition is that the enemy has a 16 icon, which is a bit hard, but then again, if you can, it's still double cast and it's still a lot of damage. So for Shet, she has to be the breaker of the team. She has to be the one that's breaking because she has 2 passives that need her to break. One is that she inflicts both resistance down on enemy on break, and 2 is that she can double cast if she's the one that breaks the enemy. So therefore I will count as that the enemy has 1 shield, so that Oshat's 6-hit arrow, 5 of them can hit the enemy and break. The reason why Uni is third despite Uni doing more potency damage than Oshat is that Uni has 50 less base attack compared to a Chet, and this is both at 6 stars. And also, achieving 16 on the enemy is a bit hard, so you might have to run Signa for that, so hence why I rank her a bit lower than Ochet. Do you know the thing about Stab is that we do not have a single dedicated focus true stat damage for over like 2 years now, 3 years now. When was Yanlong released? All 3 characters here are characters that hit stab, none of them actually wielding any stab. And Yanlong got kicked out of the 3rd place because he got exist. And then Nepti and Leon, I mean, they're both still the same here. As the same as was the last ranking. And also, since due to how empty this lie is, I do want to talk about Tiziano for a bit. At one point in this video, I did consider once to put kinda over every single weakness type on this ranking. Reason being is that Tiziano, the 3.5 annual unit for JP, he got this new mechanic where he can put Dagger weakness on an enemy, or like multiple enemy. So if you have kinda and you have Tiziano, you can brute force every single enemy in this game with just those 2. Not to mention that Tiziano is just like a better Bachelor with his buff and his 5-hit win AoE. So as much as I do want to put kind of over every single one of the ranking because of Tiziano existing, we are only counting the individual performance. So therefore, sadly, kinda will not be dominating over this entire ranking. For Tome is Emil. Emil has this one thing that like it still slightly bothered me for a bit, is that Emil has a 3-hit dock, and the double cast condition for the 3-hit dock is if you have 15 or more SP, it will consume 15 or more SP to double cast. Like, 15 SP is so low that, like, Emil will double cast every single turn, so why do you even have that as a restriction? Hikari is here because he's Hikari, and sadly, also has a 3-hit tome, so it's now a 6-hit tome with her double cast. For Fan, the first place, I do not want to say his name over and over again. For second place, Agnia is still good with her 8-hit win that can also hit Fan. And for third place is Magari, the new arena champion, who is like Blossom, but like Celicia, but better. So how Magari works is that she's a DPS and tank hybrid, and whenever she gets hit, she gains 1 point. For every 1 point she has, the number of potency passively she gains also go up. So 15 potency per 1 point, up to 135 potency at 9 points. And then she has this fan attack that can be double cast at 9 points. So combining that double casting fan attack with 135 potency up, it does make it for a very strong attacking move. For Fire is Dulcinea, also the anniversary unit for JP this time around. Dulcinea has a form change like Erica, and in her attacking form, which is the Diva form, she gained a passive 100% potency up, but also 2x SP cost. Oswald is like Cyrus, except better besides like the analyzing part. Like Oswald has everything Cyrus has, but except for that analyzing passive. Fidelica also has a very strong 6-star buff. She gained a 5-hit random fire, and also the abilities double cast. Like I say, getting double cast as one of your skill does either make you playable again, or it does make you becoming a meta character. In this case, Fidelica is one of them. So Dulcinea, like the best I can compare it to, is like Dulcinea is like Magic's and Santos. In that, she will hit hard, yes, but also damage cap problem compared to the other 2 fire mage we have over here. Oswald latent power allow him to concentrate his spell into one single target and increase the potency. He also got an ultimate that also like give him 3 tons of 100% potency up. And for Fidelica, Tanifier is Tanifier. For Ice is Oswald again, and Morphins and Ogun. Oswald, everything he does it for fire, ice, and lightning. And Morphins got a buff to a 6-star buff. His multi-hit ice got an extra hit, and he also gained like a front row confidence buff. What it means is that his 6-hit ice does more damage than Ogun, assuming you does play the condition of having like 4 or more allies having the buff that Morphin give. But due to how hard that buff is giving, like, maybe besides like the first break, it's kind of hard to maintaining that 6-hit skill. But due to him, his buff giving self 30% potency up, and him having a 6-star over Ogen, Morphin is stronger than Ogen. A bit harder to set up compared to Ogen, but he is stronger. Also, Oswald also has follow-up attack on his skill, like Casty and Huge Up. So every time he finished one of his moves, he would cast a follow-up attack corresponding to that element, hence why he's very strong. Force Lightning is Oswald Cyrus, and interestingly enough, a very special character, Shana from the manga. So there's like this 4-panel manga, which is a prequel to the whole Master of Wealth event. And in that manga, we get introduced to Shana, and Shana get introduced to the game as a memory character, even though she originated from outside the game. So Shana is Valore's apothecary, also part of Basho family, and she has a 3-hit axe, AoE axe, that can hit wind and lightning. So double casting that very consistently, she can do 6 AoE axe. But Shana do have one weakness though, is that her base attack is very low. It's much lower than FD, like I think it's like 310-ish. So even though she has high potency and can consistently double cast, due to her low base attack, her ranking, she's ranking lower than Cyrus. For wind is Dulcinea again. Dulcinea hit wind and fire, kind of like how Odette also hit wind and light. But Dulcinea, in her normal form, which is her dancer form, every time she attacks, she do a 2-hit follow-up attack. So use dancer form whenever you want to break the enemy, and use diva form when you want to deal damage. Odette got the double cast buff, and like I say, double cast just make any unit viable again. And Agnia, despite cannot really magic crit, still is a decent win DPS. Both Dulcinea and Odette, the strongest move is a 2-hit. And normally you don't overbuff it, the 2-hit should be fine. It should not hit much over cap or not much damage should go to waste. But if you do want to like overbuff that one character, then Agnia is better, because then again, 8-hit is better than 2-hit because 8-hit does not suffer from the damage cap problem as much. Unless the enemy is only weak to wind, preferably you would try to bring other type of team comp to hit the weakness instead, because wind isn't that strong. Like Dulcinea is strong, but like she isn't like powerfully strong or anything. So wind overall is a weak team comp. It's viable, but it's weak. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, but Kaine can also hit light. And I do not think I need to repeat everything I said a while ago about Kaine and why she is so overly powerful. The second and third place slot is a bit hard for me to pick because the power level between these 3 characters, which is Odette, Dina, and Erica, they are very close. Erica is Erica, and Dina is like a magical version of Erica. They all have around the same potency-ish skill move. Erica is 2 times 500, Dina is 2 times 400 guaranteed crit, and Odette is 2 times 450 light. So in the end, I get the slot to Odette, because Odette is the only one out of those 3 that got a 6-star. But like I say, second and third place are interchangeable, so the moment Odette or Dina or Erica get the 6-star, they will definitely be above Odette. But for now, the slot go to Odette-ish. And for the second slide, I do not have anything to put for the slide for light, so I will just say again that with Tiziano and Kaine, you can now bring them to every single enemy in this game and just brute force through them, just using those 2 characters, and like your DPS is gonna be set for like a long time. For Dog, it's a Mew. Like I said a while ago in his home category, his dog attack hits home, and it's also double casting. It's always double casting. He also has a 900 power nuke and can double casting it, like Ado got, but you're not gonna use that skill anytime because it's hitting damage cap too easily, so you would just rather spam either his 10-hit single target or his 6-hit AoE. Tito, his 6-star buff, right? Pito got a 6-star buff, so now his dagger, the 5-hit dagger, can now also hit Doc. So combining that with Double Cats, he is a decent Doc unit. And so in conclusion about the meta, I think the meta right now is very good, especially compared to the time where only Sword was the dominating one. The best team right now will be Dagger, and then followed by Dagger will be Axe, and then in third place would be Bow. Dagger is really good thanks to Kaina and Tiziano, and Axe has Casti and Cecily, and also the newly buffed 6-star A2 too. And Hunter got huge up, so these three are the strongest team comp in the game. And with the exception of Stab, every single other team comp have got a new unit that helped them make the team comp decently viable. For Stab though, we haven't got anyone since Jialong, like what the heck? Our most viable staff unit is like 3 years old now, and it's a free unit. I really hope we get a staff-focused DPS one day. And last is the bonus support category, which I picked one out the 3 main support category. For healer, it's still Rinyu. We have other strong healer, yes, like Gloria, Temenos, Shana, but we still don't have a replacement to infinite healing and infinite defense buff. So Rinyu is still the best. For buffing is Casti, because I know there's other strong buff in this game, but Casti has an all allies 30% potency buff, a guaranteed crit, and also damage cap up. No one else in this game can do it right now that can give it to everyone, so I think overall as a universal buffer, you can bring Casti to any team, even if they're not an X team. That's how strong she is. And for the buffer is Signa. Unless we're getting another character that can inflict ultimate 20% defense down or 20% physical or magical resistance down, Signa will be the best debuffer for a while. And last, I do want to show one thing. I say how strong Kaina is, I need to show how strong Kaina is too, right?
力を貸してくれ。トランテ。どけ。動かないで。あと邪魔をするな。効果抜群だよ。ありがとう。助かりました。ありがとう。この野郎。助かったよ。みんなに救いの手を。礼を言うぞ。サンキュー。助かった。これは悪いな。この程度か。待ってろ。ありがとう。魔力を叩き込んでやる。貴様らに用はない。
Also, this was with a fortune weapon. If Kaina had used a heavenly weapon here, then Kaina would deal more damage. But I was too lazy to make a dagger for her. So therefore, fortune weapon it is, and it's still working very well. And that's it for the ranking this time. Like usual, this video will be updated every 6 months or every anniversary, every half anniversary. Sorry this one took a while to make, like even though anniversary was 3 weeks ago with JP. I wish we get a stat DPS within the next 6 months by the time doing this ranking again, hopefully. But that's it for now, so bye bye!